How did you know that we are about to experience the next phase of the bull cycle? So I hope your seatbelts are strapped on, your action is ready, and your finger is ready to click that buy. Well, I hope you're really clicking that buy because in today's session, we are going to go through some of the wildest stuff that is happening, what happened in the Federal Reserve minutes last night, and where we could be going with everything that is happening. Just gonna have a chilled low down session with you here today. So thank you for being here with me once again on the Crypto Bliss community. I truly appreciate every single last one of you. And you can see here, my last video was all about the next big crypto move. And today kind of ties into that and what's been happening out there in the space. So let's start. This is from Linda P. Jones, right? Bitcoin is the greatest distraction from the greatest disruption that is coming to financial. Somebody believes that it could be XRP. I don't know. We could see in today's video, we're going to be talking about that. But Franklin Templeton CEO Jenny Johnson has a asset management company called Franklin Templeton with $1.6 trillion. That's massive. Okay. It's just like a black rock. Alrighty. So with all the hype that's busy happening currently, which altcoin are you most bullish on? Solana or XRP? Retweet for Solana on the altcoin daily page or give a like for XRP. You know, XRP, my friends, is massive, and we're going to talk about that now. So 17 ETFs have been filed on XRP from Bitwise, Grayscale, 21 Shares, Canary, Wisdom, CoinShares, CoinShares, Invesco, VanEck, Fidelity, ARK, Galaxy ProShares, Franklin Templeton, just who was speaking about it. We also have this breaking news for you that XRP officially drops the Ripple lawsuit. Okay, it is happening.
Just over 4 years ago, the United States SEC filed its lawsuit against Ripple. I'm finally able to announce that this case has ended. It's over.
Now you can hear direct from the big dog's mouth. Okay, that's why XRP had massive buy volume come in, and the lawsuit is finally over. So now the race for that second, third, fourth position is about to unfold between Ethereum, Ripple, and Solana, and actually BNB. So that the next up to position 5 on the crypto chart, my friends, you're doing something well in crypto, okay? And you maintain that position. You build trust in communities in crypto. And here you can see the community obviously has been waiting and backed by this, and the lawsuit has now officially been dropped. So if you're loving your bags pumping, boom, candles like this on XRP every day. I mean, look at where we're at here right now on XRP. MACD getting ready to come out. This is only on the daily. So this has been a buy zone here. You can see every time XRP came into this box, buy, into this box, buy, into this box, buy, into the box, buy, into the box, buy. So we are within a range, and honestly the range is right here. So you can see $2.77 at the moment, and we're coming up to our first level of resistance, which is this $2.50 level, okay, 60 level. So I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of rolled over a little bit here, kind of sat sideways, made a little higher low out of these things, and then burst through here. But this resistance has been here already since the beginning of January. So we've been resisted. And if we get resisted again, then we shall continue perhaps down. But the M2 money supply, my friends, is telling us something very different right now. The M2 money supply is obviously, and this is 10 weeks in advance, so it's telling us that from here on outwards, we are actually going up. Now, this happened because that's a news event, and M2 money supply, even though it dipped a little bit, okay, M2 money supply is really telling us that we are at a pinnacle point because there is a buy coming into XRP, and that is massive for XRP. And of course, when news affects it, that will change and be different on the M2 money supply. So as you know by now, the Federal Reserve holds interest rates as expected at 4.5%. That's really it. There's nothing else to it. We're not going to humble a heart. We're not going to make some noise. None of that. It is what it is. So they're holding strong in their fort. Now, the thing about this is that truly, this is where it most matters for you to listen to what is always being said in these meetings. So Powell said that inflation is rising partially due to President Trump tariffs. However, inflation is transitory and it can be modified at any time by Powell. 1 + 1 = 69, which I do agree. And essentially, what is really been said is that this has been in the hands of Powell for so long now, okay? And Trump's tariffs have actually shaken up the market a little bit, okay, and made it drop. Let's go and listen to what Mr. Powell had to say here.
Going to be very difficult to have a precise assessment of how much of inflation is coming from tariffs and from other, and that's already the case. You may have seen that goods inflation moved up pretty significantly in the first 2 months of the year. Trying to track that back to actual tariff increases, given what was tariffed and what was not, very, very challenging. So some of it, the answer is clearly some of it. A good part of it is coming from tariffs, but we'll be working, and so will other forecasters, to try to find the best possible way to separate non-tariff inflation from tariff inflation.
I'm going to just say this to you. Just like in South Africa, there's a whole bunch of crap happening out there with the whole cannabis and hemp scenario. I have a business in both of those in South Africa, and there's a whole bunch of noise happening out there. This is that exact noise. So don't believe everything you hear, because Mr. Powell is basically blaming Trump and the tariffs that's causing inflation, but he is the sole person that makes the inflation go up. It's his responsibility to make it go up or down and meet the target, so the specified target. So he's not doing his job then. Essentially, he's just passing the blame on to Trump. And at this point, I would take that very lightly, okay? Lightly, not likely, lightly, because at this point, you can see that he is just trying to pull the wool over your eyes. Tariffs haven't even begun yet. It's just hearsay and waiting for implementation to unfold, which is actually at the start of April. So a positive Fed balance sheet from the FOMC. Beginning in April, the committee will slow the pace of decline of its securities holdings by reducing the monthly redemption cap on Treasury securities from 25 billion to 5 billion. That's a 5x lower, my friends. That is phenomenal news, meaning the strangling and the chokehold, okay, on the vacuum cleaner vacuuming money back into the US is no longer going to be strangling. This, in fact, is the final stretch before the Fed ends QT. The cap to sales of Fed balance sheet was $60 billion last May, then down to 25 billion, and soon will only be 5 billion per month. The signs are looking good for QT to end by mid-year. Pretty much coming up to mid-year. I mean, we're almost at the end of March already, and then it's April, May, June, July. That's mid-year, guys. We're like 3-4 months away. Are you excited for your bags to grow? Make sure you are not doing anything other than buying and accumulating Bitcoin using my link down below. Okay, you can see I bought nicely down at the bottom there. I did say that I wanted to do it, and honestly, I should have bought there and I should have bought there, but really, my cannabis business has been keeping me absolutely extremely busy right now. But you can see that Bitcoin really will retest this Bollinger here, midline, which happens to coincide with my horizontal support zone, and then possibly start to make its way up through the 90K, back into the 90K zone. Once Bitcoin gets back into the 90K zone, we've now retraced all of this bullshit manipulation down here, okay, right back up to the 96K level, which brings us back to a point where we will start to return back to the upside. So yeah, right now my trade's down a little bit. Whoop-de-doo. It's okay. I'm okay with it. We'll see how we respond off of the support zone here. If we go down, we're probably going to come down here, which means I'll buy there. So I will be looking to buy this even more. Make sure to use my Bybit link down below and get yourself up to $30,000 deposit bonus. You can come trade isolated. You can come trade cross. You can come trade portfolio margin. The choice is yours. You can go all the way up to 100x leverage, although I wouldn't recommend that. You can see I'm only using 6x leverage. This is where you put in your order price, and this is your quantity. And then, of course, you need to click your take profit and stop loss, but you always have to put in your order quantity. So whatever, 0.001, I don't know. Let's just say $14 is your minimum entry, actually, your minimum bet on this. And you pop this in, and then you see here where you want to essentially gain your money or your financial reward versus your stop loss. Very simple, guys. Super simple to trade. If you'd like me to do a trading video, you just let me know down in the comments below. But for now, Kathy Wood believes still that we will see $1.5 million Bitcoin is still a realistic number over the next 5 years.
I want to start right with Bitcoin and what you see as the outlook for Bitcoin's price. In recent weeks, you've come out and said $1.5 million per Bitcoin by the year 2030. Since then, though, we've seen quite a few outflows. We've seen a lot of volatility. Shonali just went through that. Is that still your view? 1.5 million by 2030?
Yes, it is our view. I think right now we're in a risk-off period generally. And if you've been watching Bitcoin, it's almost been a leader in terms of risk on, risk off. So I think that's what we're seeing. If you look at our on-chain analytics, what you will see is that we are in the middle of a little bit more than halfway through a 4-year cycle. We think we're still in a bull market. And we believe that the deregulation that we're seeing here in the United States is going to be very important to institutions moving into this new asset class. Asset allocators have to have a point of view on this new asset class. And we think by putting it in portfolios, risk-adjusted returns for the entire portfolio will go up.
Risk-adjusted returns for Bitcoin will go up $1.5 million in the next 5 years, my friend, which means that Bitcoin from here to there has an incredibly, which means that from where it currently is, okay, and I'm just going to use one Bitcoin as the scenario here, my friends, at $85,000 today. If we end up hitting a $1.5 million Bitcoin in the next 5 years, okay, that's 15 million. $1.5 million Bitcoin in the next 5 years, you're going to 17.5x your money, which meaning that we're going to be around a $30 trillion market cap. That's kind of, gold is sitting at about like $23. About just over $3,000. Okay. And sorry, I mean $23 trillion in market cap for gold. So this is very, very interesting scenario to see. Do you have this in your life and in your portfolio? Because if you had one Bitcoin and it cost you $85,000 today, my friend, the next 5 years, you're guaranteed, without a doubt, to have $1.5 million. And that's according to some of the top analysts. The one thing that I do want you to know about this is that this isn't the spot ETF. This is the futures ETF, okay? So it's the first step in the right direction for Solana. But first, they're going to do that. So I would not expect a price pump on Solana just yet because it isn't the spot Solana ETF. And right now, if you missed out on the crazy $25,000 over here, the $52,000 over here, and the $73,000 over here, which is where we're currently at, from there, the price pumped 193%. Boom. Okay, from here, 107%. Possibly, could we do 64% up to like 130K? That is a very, very high story and scenario. That is possible. We could see a 64% pump from here. That would also align with the 1.16618 Fibonacci extension level, putting Bitcoin around 120K mark, which I do agree with, because if we look at the 1.618 Fibonacci is at 130K. That's where we're at right now. So give us the juicy pump, okay? 52% right now from where we're at, actually. That is amazing, guys. That's the first step forward in the right direction and the next step up in this next move. So are you prepared to make some massive gains? Because if you see here, the fear and greed index, the extreme greed is on the top. The extreme fear is on the bottom and in red, and green respectively. And so whenever we're in the extreme green, boom, that's the time to take some fucking profits. Okay. Whenever we're in the extreme fear, boom, that's the time to buy the heck out of the market, because then you get rallies like that. Extreme fear, buy the market. Extreme fear, buy the market. Extreme fear, buy the market. And look at where we are right now at this point. So we're actually in price action coming lower, but the fear and greed index is going higher. That's bullish divergence, okay, in emotional energy. And so once we had this last launch off here from extreme greed, extreme fear, we had this massive bull cycle. And then the same thing here. We retested the extreme fear zone, and then we had this massive push up here. The same thing is busy happening right now. In fact, we're lower than where we were here. We're as low as we were back in 2022, as well as 2021, and as well as all the way back down to 2017, my friends. That's mad, 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 mad. Okay. And the last time Bitcoin pumped 102%. So if we have to pump 102% from currently where we're at, you know where that's going to take us? It's probably going to take us up to 180K. What's the bet? What's the bet? Place your bets down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what your bet is on that. Bull. Oh no. That's 100% all the way up here to the 180K level, right? So why would it not do that? Bitcoin does 100%ers all the time. Lastly, you can see XRP. Lastly, I would like to just show my appreciations, my care, and my gratitude for you for being here with me once again on the Crypto Bliss channel and community. I truly appreciate you for being here. And if you enjoyed the content, make sure that you are investing in yourself and your best future possible energy for yourself and your family. And let's get trading together. Let's make money in this cycle, because now is the time. It's your last couple moments. It's your last little couple weeks is what I'm trying to tell you. So be wise.